Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to the Celtic Way YouTube page, X page, and Facebook page. My name is Ryan McGinley at the Ryan McGinley, and tonight I'm delighted to be joined from Bergamo, from the Gevis Stadium in Bergamo, by Tony Haggerty. Tony, how are you doing?
I'm very well, Ryan. Looking forward to this. An interesting team the manager has selected, but we'll talk about that. But yeah, nice, compact, tidy ground, 25,000 it holds. I put the panoramic shot and you put it on social media channels. You can have a look at that and see for yourself. But yep, it's just over an hour's time to kick off, Ryan. Match day 3, Champions League. You can't beat it.
Absolutely. I'll just go through the team in full for you all. It's Kasper Schmeichel in goals. Oh, in fact, I've wrote Greg Taylor here. I'll need to change that out to Alex Valle. I'll do it. So it's Alex Valle, Liam Scales, Austin Trusty, and Alistair Johnson. A midfield three of Cal McGregor, Rio Hatate, who's making his 100th appearance for Celtic tonight, and Arne Engels. And a front three of Idah on the left, Nicholas Kuhn on the right, and Adam Idah leading the line. The subs tonight are Sinisalo, Bain, Palma, Kyogo, Yang, McCowan, Nawrowski, Bernardo, Forrest, Ralston, and Welsh. Tony, while I sort out the graphic, what do you make of that team?
Well, I think Adam Idah's, it's a big night for Adam Idah, isn't it? He's going to have to lead the line and lead it well and maybe give you that out ball that Celtic didn't have in Germany against Dortmund. So a huge chance for Adam Idah to make his presence felt at this level. And it's a big, big call by the manager, isn't it?
Certainly is, Tony. I'm just halfway through changing Taylor for Baye. People will probably think that there's been a miraculous turnaround and that Taylor's in the starting lineup. But yeah, it's a strong team. It's what we probably expected out with Adam Idah up front. Do you want to touch on Adam Idah and what you think Brendan Rodgers has went for, or why he's went for Adam Idah in that position?
I spoke about it earlier this week, Ryan. I spoke about it again today. Celtic need an outball, don't they? They need somebody to hit. They need somebody to run the channels, win you free kicks, win you territory. And I think that's why he's there, because Adam Idah can do all that. He's no slouch. And also, when chances come along, if Celtic do create opportunities, he's got to be clinical. And, you know, Kyogo, who has been favoured in these games, you know, Kyogo has been hit and miss at Champions League level for Celtic. And there are games when it looks as if he's not contributing. It's not the case. He is running around, but he's just been starved of any decent service. So I think the manager's trying something different, which you have to applaud that and say, okay, he is trying. It might be kind of similar formation, but he's trying different personnel and certainly leading the line. And I say Adam Idah's got a huge opportunity here, and here's hoping that he grasps the nettle, Ryan.
Absolutely, this is the reason why he's joined Celtic, to be in games like this and to really prove himself. I want him to be that outball the same way that Odsonne Edouard, Moussa Dembele were in Europe previous to him. Giakoumakis to an extent as well against Shakhtar Donetsk, you could say he was a bit of an outball too. You want that imposing presence up front. Try to hold up the ball, get the ball to the wide men, and similarly, the wide men need to get the ball to Adam Idah and give him some deliveries and service to work on. He's only as good as his service, as we've seen in the past few weeks. You've got to give him the ball. If he's given the ball, then you trust him one-on-one with the goalkeeper, wouldn't you? Or most of the time you would, in big moments.
And I'm still baffled as to why he didn't score with a header in Germany. But listen, that's gone. That's in the past, Ryan. Tonight's a new challenge for Celtic. Can Celtic win for only the second time ever in their history in Italy? First one being, of course, against Lazio in the Olympic Stadium under Neil Lennon in 2019. Well, the form book says that they won't. It's a bit of a mission impossible, this Italian job for Celtic. But time to rip up the form book, Ryan, and time to show that Celtic do belong at this level and produce a performance worthy of the name. That's what the Celtic supporters crave most of all.
Yeah, let's go through a couple of the talking points. We both predicted that Paulo Bernardo would be in the starting lineup for this game. He's went with Rio Hatate, who, as I said when I was naming the team, he's set to make his 100th appearance for Celtic. That's incredible. I can remember his first appearance against Hibs back in 2022. I remember that there was a bit of a break in between the games, and then the first game back was against Hibs, and he had a man of the match performance. That's 100 games for Rio Hatate. Hopefully he can mark it with a special performance and hopefully a win in the Gevis Stadium. What are you looking for from Hatate tonight? You're looking for him to show his creativity and maturity on the ball?
I'm looking for him to break some of those lines, Ryan, and be that creative player that creates opportunities for the likes of Adam Idah and Maida and Kuhn. But they've got their important part to play as well. They have to ably assist. We know Hatate's a creative player, and he's on his day, he has the fulcrum of Celtic team in terms of creativity, and he is the most talented and gifted midfielder at the club at this minute in time. But he has to turn up, Ryan. He has to perform. A huge opportunity for him as well to showcase his talent. And if he believes that he wants to earn a move just as Matt O'Reilly did, then these are the games that Hatate has to perform in for Celtic. And it's a huge stage. It doesn't come any bigger than Atalanta, whose team trajectory is on the rise under Gasperini. And I think Hatate will relish this, but the midfield can't afford to be passengers like they were against Dortmund, Ryan. It just can't happen again, because they could get steamrolled and picked off if that's the case. But I think Hatate, McGregor and Engels, there's big performances in them tonight.
Yeah, I hope so. And for Engels in particular, it's a big night for him because his performance against Borussia Dortmund was not great. I don't think it's a surprise to say that, or a shock to say that he was one of the worst players on the pitch, or maybe not the worst player, but one of the more disappointing players. When you know that he's played well there for Augsburg in years gone by, and he's played in the Bundesliga, to go back and put in that sort of performance was disappointing. But it's a night to make amends, and if Celtic are going to succeed, then they've got to look upon a guy like Arne Engels to put in a really good performance and be resolute when they've not got the ball. Try and win the ball back, but when they've got the ball, make use of it, because you might be playing catch up for a lot of tonight in possession. So when the ball does break to you, you use it.
Ball retention's key, Ryan. Doing those basics and controlling the controllables, as we were talking about this morning. But that giving away cheap possession, it's criminal at this level, and you just can't do it. And Celtic have to be better and tighter and more compact than they were in Dortmund. They were far too open, and they gave themselves a mountain to climb very early on in that match. As I said today, we have to stay in the match for as long as we can, gain a foothold and a stranglehold in the game, and see where it takes us. But they just can't be losing 2 and 3 at a time again, Ryan, because it'll be good night Vienna if that's the case.
Yes, absolutely. It seems as if some of the players have pulled through on the Atalanta side of things, because Sead Kolasinac is starting in the back three for Atalanta tonight. There's also starts for Ademola Lookman. I know Alistair in the morning briefing was saying that he might not play. That's not the case. He's playing tonight, as is Matteo Retegui, who has been scoring goals, 8 goals in 8 games in Serie A this season for the striker. Mario Pasalic is also starting, as well as Ederson in the midfield, and Martin de Roon is playing in midfield rather at the back. You've got Isaac Keane and Barat Jim City, who are making up the back three for them, as well as Bellanova on the left-hand side. So it's a strong Atalanta side, as you would expect. It's a strong Celtic side too, and they've fielded the best possible team. Of course, we would all hope that Cameron Carter-Vickers was going to be fit for this game. That didn't turn out to be the case. He trained, but he never made the flight over to Bergamo in Italy. So it's Austin Trusty and Liam Scales that are in the defensive back line, alongside Alex Bailly on the left and Alistair Johnston on the right. What have Austin Trusty and Liam Scales in particular got to do, Tony, tonight in order to keep this scoreline down and to keep Celtic, more importantly, in the game?
They just have to defend, Ryan. Basically, just do exactly what it says in the tin. You're a central defender. We know the threat that Atalanta pose, and they have terrorised better teams than Celtic and will continue to do so. But, Trusty and Scales have got to have the game of their lives tonight, Ryan, and repel everything that comes their way. We will find out if they're capable of doing that in the fullness of time. But you have to turn around. I think Ange Postecoglou said it when he was Celtic manager. why not make this game the best game that you can be, the best representation of yourself? If I'm trusting scales, I'm saying that to myself before I take to the field tonight. Let's be the best that I can possibly be. Bring my best game to the Champions League table tonight and take it from there. Yeah, you look at the two strikers that Atalanta have got up front, and Alistair spoke us through it this morning. Yeah, but again, Celtic conversely have players that can hurt Atalanta as well. Just need every man to do their job tonight, Ryan. Much better than they ever did in Germany. But that's gone. Let it park it. It's done and dusted. So it's a new game. Match day 3. Yeah, everybody. The weight of history's against you, and everybody is tipping you to get turned over here, Ryan. Let's try and make a mockery of that and put in a performance, as I say, that's worthy of the name, and flip that form book on its head.
Celtic are due an away result in Europe. The last time they got a really good result in the Champions League away from home, you would probably say, was against Anderlecht back in 2016-17. We'd love a repeat of that tonight. I remember Celtic were absolutely awesome under Brendan Rodgers in that away game, and they really did sort of surprise Anderlecht with their style of play. Remember Sinclair scored, Lee Griffiths scored as well from a great ball from Kieran Tierney. And I can't remember who the other goal was by. I'm putting myself under a bit of pressure. Sinclair, Griffiths, and was it Tierney or something like that, or Cham? It was one of the two. Anyway, it was a really good night for Celtic. I'm sure somebody in the comment section can tell me. I'm going back a bit there. I can't believe how long ago that was. Nearly or just over 8 years ago, which is incredible. While I get everybody's score predictions, and please get as many score predictions as you can in the comment section, I'm just going to read out what you can do to support us just that little bit more. You can join our YouTube members channel for just £2.99 a month. You will receive early video access, priority comments, and exclusive members chat function. Press the join button on the desktop next to the subscribe button. We are only a few subscribers away from 12,000 subscribers all in all on YouTube, so please get involved and get us over the line with that number. Hopefully we can get that by tonight, by the close of play, and that's something else to celebrate. Fingers crossed that alongside a Celtic win or a Celtic good result away from home. Tony, I'm going to go straight to you for predictions. I'm going to let you say your prediction first. How do you think tonight's going to go, Tony? Are you going to roll with your head or your heart here, basically, is what I'm trying to say?
I'm going to go with a head, Ryan, and I think Celtic will lose, possibly 3-1.
Okay. I thought that then you are the eternal optimist. So if you're saying that, then I think you're a realist though as well. You're a realist as well as an optimist. I will bring up some of the predicted line, or not the predictions before I say my own one. Mackay Clan says 2-1 to Celtic. I think everyone would take that. Let me see. It was Roberts that scored. So it was. That was the name that was in my head. I was like, who else scored for Celtic that night? But it was Paddy Roberts that scored. Celt88, who's always involved in the YouTube scene of things. 2-1 Celtic, he says. Take that. 2-1s, Tony. Do you know, I'm going to go out there. I think Celtic are going to get a draw tonight. I'm going to stay and remain optimistic. I was feeling a bit pessimistic last night coming into the game, but I thought about it. It's a strong team that Atalanta have put out, but I just want Celtic to rise to the occasion. And they've had a lot of flack since the Borussia Dortmund game for away performances in the Champions League. I think they'll perform well in this match, a lot better than what they did against Dortmund. They know they're expecting. They know they're coming up against a pressing monster, but I think they're going to get a couple of goals tonight. I think it'll be 2 each between Celtic and Atalanta. Tony, I think the next person that we need to talk about is Alex Valle, who's making his European debut start for Celtic tonight and his career all in. It's a big night for him, starting for the first time in Europe. What are you expecting from him tonight, and what do you want him to show in the game against Atalanta?
Alex Valle has got qualities, Ryan. I'm hoping he shows them, but I just don't want him to be a rabbit in the headlights tonight. You know, you've come from Barcelona's La Masia Academy. Show exactly why you're a Barcelona player. You know, bring that type of performance to Celtic's team tonight, and just don't do anything stupid. Defend. He can't afford to go scampering forward, and I know it's maybe his natural impulse and his natural instinct to Maraud forward. You can get away with that domestically in Scotland with Celtic. You can't get away with it on nights like tonight. Just that, I want that back four just to stay as rigid as they possibly can and not move and just defend when they have to. I get it, it's a tall order, but yeah, Celtic have players as well. As I say, it's just about every Celtic player you see rising to the occasion and performing to the best of their ability and showing exactly why the manager rates them as a good team, because they're much better than they showed in Germany, much better than that. Didn't do themselves justice, and I think that's what would have hurt them most of all, Ryan. That's the stinger to the pride, and I think there's a few out there tonight that want to have anything to do. Italians, megaphones, what it's like. But a few guys have got maybe something to prove to themselves that they belong in this arena, this kind of stage. So go out and prove it. But Valle in particular, what a wonderful opportunity. This is why he signed for Celtic on a season-long loan, to get this experience under his belt. Go and shine on that stage.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to go through a couple more of the predictions that people have put into the comments section. Stuart Miller says 4-1 Atalanta. I'm afraid it could happen very, very easily. William O'Toole says Idah to have the game of his life, 3 each. If you want to come back in and say how many goals he's going to score, is that a hat-trick away from home in the Champions League? How many is he going to score tonight? If he is going to score any, please let me know, William. Mark Thompson says, think it's going to be 2 each. Hazel Finn says 2-1. Hoping that means Celtic. Baggio says 4+ goals for Atalanta. Walker's saying Hatate's got to play the 10. He might play the 10. Engels might drop back and play the number 8. I'm just thinking traditionally of where Hatate's played. He has played in that 8 role. He's also played in the number 10. Might need to change that for next time around. I'll watch him tonight and see where he's placed on the park and then change accordingly. Martin Gohuli says 2-2. Celtic are expected to lose, but I think we will dig out a draw. That's how I feel as well. I think there's a lot of people that are talking about this already being a foregone conclusion for Celtic. Not you, Tony, of course. I know you remain optimistic, but I think they're in the mood to really shut a few people up tonight, to be honest. And if that's the case, then the best way to do that is on the park by scoring goals and really taking it to Atalanta. The worst thing that they can do, and I agree with what Alistair was saying earlier on in the morning briefing, the worst thing they could do is sit back and just accept what Atalanta are going to bring to them. They've got to shake it up, and they've got to make Atalanta uncomfortable.
That's the one thing that gave me hope, Ryan. That Alistair was saying, if Celtic go toe to toe, they could get some joy. And I think in terms of toe to toe, I mean, attack when necessary and get forward and see where it brings them. I'm not saying go gung ho. If you go gung ho, they'll get picked off. And they've got devastating players in that front line that can tear Celtic apart if they want to. But listen, I say 3-1 Atalanta. I'm just basing that on 4 words: Celtic away in Europe. But I still remain optimistic that they'll give a better account of themselves and a decent account of themselves, much more than they did in Germany. And I'm looking forward to seeing how this team takes on that challenge, Ryan. Can you hear me okay, or is it getting pretty noisy?
You see, if you hold the microphone like that, it sounds perfect.
Okay, it's fine, no worries.
Because I can hear Depeche Mode in the background as well. It's actually, I don't know if anybody else noticed that in the comments, but you said necessary the same time they say that in the song. It was incredible. You couldn't have timed that any better. But we've got a wee bit of Depeche Mode in the background as well. Probably get copyrighted for that, but so be it. That's the way that it goes. I'll read out some more of these predictions before we sort of round up here. Mark O'Neill says 2 each, Celtic to score in the last minute. Wow, to get a late equaliser. That would feel like a win, depending on the way the game was going. Gary Thompson says 1 each. There's a lot of draws, Tony. Yeah, there's a lot of draws tonight. 3-1 Celtic, says Howard Moon. 3-0 Atalanta. Sorry, tough night, says Paul McCormack. I think we'll play better than Dortmund. We have to, says Stuart Miller. Completely agree with that. I think he's talking about, talking about the megaphone, the megaphone man. Tell him to shut up. Tony's talking. You'll need to change your
You tell
profile
him,
picture.
Stuart. You tell him.
You still get Matt O'Reilly on there. Tony, is there anything else that you want to discuss before we head off? I know that you'll need to get in position and be ready for the game, and you'll be wanting to take some videos and we'll put out on the socials. But is there anything else you want to discuss before kick off?
Just wanted to say thank you to the 500 and over 500 people that have joined us on the live briefing pre-match. Astonishing numbers, and can't thank you enough for that. And I think, like everyone else, we just hope that Celtic can defy the odds and rise to the occasion, Ryan. And hopefully we are talking about an incredible result. It would be an incredible result. And do we dare to dream that they could win for the second time ever in Italy? Stranger things have happened, Ryan. It's the Champions League. It does strange things to players, doesn't it, at times?
Yep, shipping up to Boston in the background. Celtic are shipping up to Bergamo. Fingers crossed they can get a win or a draw, a positive result in Bergamo, and I think everybody would be delighted. Nobody would be complaining, regardless if it was a draw or a win. Tony, I'll let you get in position and let you start recording some of the pre-match atmosphere. I'm sure it'll be a feisty atmosphere, but one that you'll enjoy. Maybe not as loud as the last one that you were in the Signal Iduna Park. In fact, before we finish off, what is it like in the stadium before I let you go?
It's filling up slowly, but the Celtic fans are congregated to my right where I'm sitting, and they're in fine voice, they've been singing, but there's more and more of them filtering in as we speak, so I'll try and, as you say, grab a couple of videos for social media purposes and put it there. But everybody enjoy the game. Let's see what happens.
Yep, you never know what will happen. If you don't buy a ticket, you don't win the lottery. You want Celtic to go out there and give a good account of themselves, and we'll see what happens on the night. Anything can happen. It's Champions League match day 3, and yeah, we're looking forward to kick off as it gets closer and closer. 45 minutes till kick off, guys. I hope you all enjoy. Thank you to the 550 people that are watching live. We've truly appreciate each and every single one of you joining us on these pre-match shows. Can't continue to do them without you. If you want to support us that little bit more, press that subscribe button. It's completely free. If you want to support us even more, you can join our YouTube members channel. £2.99 a month. You'll receive early video access, priority comments, and exclusive members chat function. Tony, I'll let you get away and you can enjoy the game. Everybody else, enjoy the game. We'll see you at some point after full time to dissect whatever's happened, win, lose or draw. Until then, enjoy your night, enjoy the game, and fingers crossed Celtic get a good result. See you later, guys.